All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash, double honors unto our apostles and elders of great millstone, which taught us the truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom. Alright, so I was reading through 2 Samuel, and this got my attention. In 2 Samuel chapter 6, it's when King David is bringing the Ark of Yahweh into the city of David, and Saul's daughter despises King David. And King David pretty much, cursed her ass out that she would not bear no children. But I was listening to the audio, alright, of 2 Samuel, KJV, King James Version. And when you hear it, the way the female speaks sounds just like a Jake woman. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, and then I got it saved, and we should be able to let it play. You'll hear it.
It was told King David, saying, The Lord hath blessed the house of Obed-Edom, and all that pertaineth unto him, because of the ark of God. So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David with gladness. And it was so, that when they that bare the ark of the Lord had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings. And David danced before the Lord with all his might, and David was girded with a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet. And as the ark of the Lord came into the city of David, Michal, Saul's daughter, looked through a window, and saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, and she despised him in her heart. And they brought in the ark of the Lord, and set it in his place, in the midst of the tabernacle that David had pitched for it. And David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. And as soon as David had made an end of offering burnt offerings and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord of hosts. And he dealt among all the people, even among the whole multitude of Israel, as well to the women as men, to every one a cake of bread, and a good piece of flesh, and a flagon of wine. So all the people departed, every one to his house. Then David returned to bless his household. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David, and said,
How glorious was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants, as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovereth himself.
And David said unto Michal,
It was before the Lord which chose me before thy father and before all his house, to appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel. Therefore will I play before the Lord, and I will yet be more vile than thus, and will be base in mine own sight. And of the maidservants which thou hast spoken of them shall I be had in honor.
Therefore Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child unto the day of her death.
Alright, so did you see that? Did you see how it sounded when she spoke? Saul's daughter, King David's wife, Michal. It sounded just like a Jake woman. Alright? And she pretty much was upset with King David, alright, where she spoke out against him. And that was enough, pretty much, that she died without a child. Which, if in 1 Samuel, alright, Hannah, the wife of Elkanah, alright, he had 2 wives, Peninnah and Elkanah. Elkanah had 2 wives, Peninnah and Hannah. And Hannah was vexed because her womb was closed, to a point where she was begging the Lord to allow her to bear a child, because Peninnah was bearing children for Elkanah, which he was husband to both those women. So there's honor in bearing children for women. Alright, and that's what she lost. She lost her honor of even bearing a child, because what it does, it elevates a woman. Okay, When you become a mother, that's like a grand title, or a grandmother. Okay, that's a great example of a grand title. And you don't have that title unless you have the experience of, being in that lot. Women bearing children, all right, and raising them. So, this woman, Saul's daughter, all right, when she spoke out, if you notice what she said to the Lord, to the King David, right, which was a man of the Lord of the highest level. Let's see, here it is. It says in verse 20, 2 Samuel 6, verse 20, then David returned to bless his household. All right, and just think about this. How many of us can relate to this? That you come home happy to bless your household, right? He had some food, some wine. He's in a good attitude because he just brought a good mood because he brought the ark of the Lord into the city of David. He accomplished his task for his God. And it says, and Michal, which it should be, because I don't like the way they say it. They're saying Michael, but it wouldn't be Michael. It would be Maya Ka'ala. Maya Ka'ala. Maya Ka'ala. That's what her name would be. Maya Ka'ala. Maya. So Hebrew goes right to left. You got 4 letters there. Alright, which it goes right to left. So Ma. Alright. It's not working. It's not going to play correctly. Right. So right there. Ma. Alright. Ma. Ya Ka'ala. Ma. Ya Ka'ala. Alright. Which Michael, alright, is what as they pronounce it today in the English, but it'd be Maya Ka'ala. Maya Ka'ala. Okay? My call. Alright, Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said how glorious was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovereth himself. Alright, because his manhood was showing. Alright, through his pants. You know how these women, they be talking about what do they call it? The white sweatpants, the gray sweatpants. They're always making memes about how they can see a man's penis, coming out of his sweatpants. Well, how much more back then when we were well endowed, as a nation. See, we're in captivity and our bodies have been weakened. Shit, they're feeding us GMO fucking artificial foods. Alright? So we're not the men that we once was in the past. Alright? And we had penises in our last lives. Fucking it looked like a third leg. Alright? That's why we weren't able to build stairs up into the altar, because it would reveal our nakedness. So just think about King David dancing, get pretty much, get the blood flowing, excited, right? And the maidens getting roused up because they see his manhood, all right? So that pissed his wife off, which in our culture, in our nation, all right, according to the laws of our God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is our Lord and Savior, the King of Kings, who's going to establish King David, all right, as the King of Israel, which makes him the king of even the heathen, because Israel is going to be ruling over the heathen, starting with King David. But it made me think about how these women think you're fucking here to serve them. You're not here. A man is not here to serve the woman. The woman is here to serve the man, to be a helpmate to the man, all right? And that's what caught my attention when I heard it through the audio. I've lived I lived that. You come home after work, you might grab some food, a little bottle of liquor, and then right away, your woman will fucking just snap off, start talking shit about something, being very disrespectful, right? Because she's unhappy or unpleased, which is completely out of order. That's why Hannah in 1 Samuel, all right, the wife of Elkanah, all right, she was blessed to have a child because her name means favor, Hannah, all right? And she wanted to pretty much give her Lord, her husband, all right, a child. Today, these women, they abort their children. You see? So we live in a complete corrupted society, which our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. The Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which been scattered throughout the world in slavery. All right? So I think it's at the end of 2. So the Lord gave Adam, all right, Eve. Let's see. Here it is. Genesis 2 verse 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmate for him. And Yahweh's power caused a deep sleep to fall upon him, upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Which pretty much Adam and Eve were pretty much brother and sister. Alright? See how it says of his rib? Alright? So pretty much the woman comes out of the man. So when you see, like, say, two Judite, alright, marrying, like a Judite or even any Israelite, your brother and sister. Alright? Like it or not, that's where it is. If you're an Israelite and you're marrying another Israelite, you're pretty much like brother and sister. And that's why even in Ruth 3, Boaz, all right, he was showing that custom when he was receiving Ruth. All right, he was pretty much accepting her as he would accept an Israelite woman. All right, he was showing her favor. It says right here, and Boaz, it says here in verse 9, Ruth 3:9, and he said, "Who art thou?" And she said, "I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid." For thou art a near kinsman. All right, he's pretty much related to her husband that died. They were Israelites that were in the province of Moab. Ruth was a Moab princess, and when her husband died, she followed her mother-in-law, all right, Naomi, back to Jerusalem. And she pretty much said, your people are my people. Your God is my God. And you got to remember, there's Israelite strangers, Israelite foreigners since the beginning, which are Israelites that are pretty much entangled with the heathen, right? Their father is an Israelite, but their mother is a heathen, all right? Mingled amongst the heathen, looking like the heathen, thinking you're heathen growing up. All right, this is a true event today. You have Israelites, say Judah, which are the so-called American Negroes. All right, you got so-called Negroes that go back to the tribe of Judah that look just like so-called Caucasians. Blue eyes, blonde hair, all right? Because our people have been scattered throughout the world in slavery, all right? And when we were out amongst these heathen, we pretty much had children with their women, and our children came out with their looks, but with our bloodline, all right? Because we are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, us that have faith, all right? The heathen don't have faith like us. So the kinsman, which goes back to our law of if your brother dies without bearing any children, all right, you're supposed to take his wife and marry her because she's widowed and bear a child with her and name that child after your brother. To pretty much, the Bible tells you of reincarnation, all right? The world has deceived you to make you fear death, make you think of, all these unbelievable things like hell, where you're burning forever and ever and ever and ever, never to escape. Well, these are false philosophies, false doctrines. What happens is when you die, your body goes into the ground, dust to dust, and then your spirit goes to the Father and the Son who created it, Yahweh and Yahushai. And then they pretty much put forth your judgment, and you come back, you reincarnated through your father's lineage, all right? And you're born, you say your father marries a heathen, or whether he marries an Israelite, you come out according to your father's bloodline, all right? And on earth, in these earthly bodies, do you pay out judgment or do you receive your reward, all right? So the kinsman means pretty much your blood relative, all right? Let me pull that up just so that you can see it with your own eyes, all right? When you see this here, it says, handmaid, right here, are a near kinsman. So they got Ga Allah, to redeem, act as kinsman, redeemer, avenge, revenge, ransom, do the part of a kinsman. All right, by marrying brother's widow to beget a child for him to redeem from slavery, which Boaz represents Yahushua and we represent Ruth. All right, which he's going to deliver us from the widowhood. That's why he says to go out and deal with the widows and the fatherless, which are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. We are the biblical Hebrew Israelites, but you got all these heathen telling us we're nothing. We're a nobody. We're fatherless. We're godless. They teach us how to behave in a godless way. All right? You got a lot of Jake following after atheism. All right? Where they say there is no God. All right? So the Lord sent his son, Yahushai, and Yahushai is our husband that is gonna. That's why it says the groom, and the bride, which is Yahushua and Israel, being joined together. All right, and he's the one that is the redeemer for us. All right, just like Boaz was the redeemer for Ruth, because you got to remember, without men, you got technology, you got a soft life right now, like the city, metropolitan. Pretty much, it's made for women. See, women need comfort, and men was that comfort, right? Your husband. That's why you would, fight for your husband. Do everything you can for your husband. Today, you fight against your man now. Just like that was given an example by Michal, uh, David's wife, Saul's daughter, when she felt envy against those other women. When we're allowed to have multiple women, all right? And she thought, in her mind that King David was to serve her. See, that's backwards. The woman was made for the man, all right? So the women that are going to be redeemed are going to have to get down in the righteous order of being a woman, all right? You got to drop that masculine energy, all right? It says in Isaiah 4 and verse 1, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So as you can see, all right, at that time, all right, there's women that are ordained to repent, which is pretty much get in order. They're not going to be talking shit to a man of the Lord. They're going to be pretty much a good example is the woman that washed the feet of the Lord. All right. Here we go right here. All right. To be humble and to, in fact, let me see. Luke, all right, 7 verse 36. And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him. Talking about Yahushua. To eat with the Pharisees, which were Israelites. And he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat. And behold, a woman in the city which was a sinner, which she was caught in the act of adultery, when she knew that Yahushua sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and stood at his feet behind him, weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the anointment. See, that's how we should have. This is how our women should be treating us. When we come home, they should be actually so happy to see us that they literally break out in tears. And like how you come home from work and you're tired, and you just think your woman just so happy to see you. She's starting to tear up. She takes your shoes off, right? After you come home from work, and she kisses your feet. What kind of such a difference in a woman would that be? From right when you walk in the door, talking mad shit, talking mad shit, being completely disrespectful and out of order? Or would you prefer a woman that is submissive and obedient? Well, in the same fashion, us, like so, in same manner, us, all right, first, how we should be to the Lord. Should you be a proud, disobedient person towards the Lord? Or should you be a servant, an obedient, submissive servant to the Lord and His will? Well, in the same fashion, our women are supposed to be in the same like manner. All right? It says, verse 39, and when the Pharisee which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is that toucheth him, for she is a sinner. Which the Pharisees at that time, but you had righteous and wicked Pharisees. But you had Pharisees that were hypocrites. They were acting like they were righteous and keeping the commandments, but in fact were fake. All right, they were false. They were counterfeit. It said, and Yahushua answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he saith, Master, say on. All right. And it says, well, that's going into something else, but we'll go ahead and get let's go back to Ruth real quick. Ruth 3, because this is what Naomi told her daughter-in-law to do for marriage. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? See? So a woman, all right, finds rest when she finds a man. All right, because a woman is scared. She's a weak vessel. All right? She's not strong in faith compared to a man. She's not strong physically compared to a man. All right? So when a woman finds a man that is, she's able to be joined to, because when you have virginity and a man takes the woman's virginity, there's a thing called a soul tie, like where your souls become one. And that's what Adam was saying about his wife. We are one flesh, bone of my bone, rib of my rib. All right? And I'm going to get that right here, and then we can get that. It says, and now is not Boaz of our kindred, of our bloodline, with whose maidens thou was? Behold, he winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor. So winnoweth, pretty much they beat the barley to get the edible part from the unedible part. Wash thyself, therefore, and that's what she's telling. Now she's giving her daughter-in-law pretty much game on how to get Boaz to marry her. Wash thyself, which a woman is to take a bath, soak their ass. All right, you're not just supposed to shower. You're really supposed to soak your ass, and then your pussy won't stink. And anoint thee, pretty much put oil upon yourself, sweet smelling oil, and put thy raiment upon thee, put your dress on, which a woman's supposed to be modestly covered, and get thee, get thee down to the floor. By what? By his feet. All right? Because that's an act of love. I can tell you firsthand, as a man, all right, a woman touching your feet, all right, is an act of love. All right? Like you could go to like a Chinese massage and pay a woman to touch your feet. But for a woman that is, you're with in a relationship, for her to get on her knees and to rub your feet and even kiss your feet, like it said Mary Magdalene done unto Yahushua, That's an act of submission. All right? And it says, but make thyself known, make not thyself known unto the man until he shall have done eating and drinking, and it shall be when he lieth down. So just think he's working, and then when he gets done, he eats and drinks some wine. So then he passes out. That thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, where he goes to sleep, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, take his shoes off, and lay thee down, lay by his feet, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. So when he wakes up, which, I'm a man and I've drank the next morning, all right, you wake up super horny. See? And sex is marriage. All right? In our customs of our nation, given to us by the supreme power Yahweh, sex is marriage. So she would have received marriage through the act of sex. All right? And so she does it, and when he wakes up, which I got, all right, let's go back to verse 9. And he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And what the skirt means is his garment. All right, we have a garment with fringes. That's how the men dressed in the ancient world. They had garments. And they went down to the foot because of our long manhood, which I told you about before. In our past lives, we were stronger than now. All right, we're in the most weakest state of our ever existence. The Lord calls us worms. All right, just think our forefather King David leaped over 100-foot wall. All right, running. He killed 10,000s of men. Today, Jake, he could only bear 3-minute rounds in a cage. And he's burned out. But, so, it says, and he said, let me see, and he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid. Right. So the garment having the fringes, the commandments, she's pretty much saying, command me, put your name on me. Just like I read in Isaiah 4. Just call me by your last name. Command me what to do. For thou art a near kinsman, you're my family. And he said, blessed be thou, O of Yahweh, my daughter. All right. Why does he say this? Because of pretty much the subjection, the position of status. That's what it is. It's a claim of status that she belongs to him. That close, as close as a daughter. But really, she's a wife. But a daughter is what? Blood. For thou hast showed more kindness in the later end than at the beginning. And as thou followeth not young men, whether poor or rich. So she's not out there trying to get all kinds of guys. All right, she's a modest woman. Obviously, most likely a beautiful woman. All right, and she pretty much gave herself to her husband, Boaz, by what? By taking off his shoes of his feet. All right, but the women today are foolish. They actually tear down their own house with their own hands, just like Michal of Saul's daughter when she talked to King David. All right. And what was I at? In Genesis 2, we'll finish it up. All right. The point has been made that the women are to be in subjection to their husband, joyfully serving their husband, because that's what you were created to do. It says right here in Genesis 2, and this is why women are miserable today. They're on antidepressants, they're alcoholics, they got fucking hysterectomies because their freaking backs blown out by millions of men. All right, they got STDs because sperm touches sperm inside their wombs. All right. It says in Genesis 2, verse 22, and the rib which Yahweh's power had taken from man, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. So they're the same family, all right, the same people. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman out of man, which she's to serve man, because she was taken out of man. And when you go into that word woman, it means to serve, to be a female servant, all right? Right there. Number 4. It says woman, a noun, person, place, or thing. It has an adult female person, which an adult female, according to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is when the female has a period. That's when she is considered an adult. In this wicked society, they'll allow a female to act like a child, commit adult acts, but not be allowed to take any responsibility for it because they're under 18. All right? So Esau, he completely corrupted this world. It says in B, a woman belonging to a particular category as by birth, residence, membership, or occupation, usually used in combination. All right? So you got to be born a woman. You can't be, one of these transformers out here. And right here, see the fourth definition there? It says a woman who is a servant or personal attendant, chiefly wife, a mistress, a girlfriend, because really there ain't no such thing as a girlfriend. All right, if a man has a girlfriend, really they're most likely sleeping with each other, which the act of sex is marriage. So when these women are sleeping with all these different men, they have many husbands, just like the heathen woman that was at the well that didn't get Yahweh Shai a drink of water. So she's going to be cursed at the coming of Yahweh Shai. She's a heathen woman anyway, so it don't matter anyway. She don't have no salvation. All right, but to you women that are at ease, rise. All right, it says right here. Let me get that. I'm gonna start wrapping it up. All right, if you're a woman and you have faith in this knowledge, all right, that you hear coming out of these scriptures, hey, repent, And if you're already married, stay with your husband, don't divorce him. I ain't saying to divorce your husband, but, submit to your husband. And you women that are not married, your job is to submit to a man of the Lord, as it is written in 1 Corinthians 7, that a woman of this faith should marry a man of the Lord. Isaiah 32 verse 9, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. All right. So this is pretty much put it all into, this one sentence covers everything. Repent so that you might be saved. All praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, B'Shem HaRakakodash, double honors unto our apostles and elders of great millstone, which taught us the truth, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end, and Bod Babal.